Every day, they redefine the word extreme by going up it, down it, and over it. Their dream, conquer the earth. Today, we go with them.
More than a race, it's an experience, and something that I'm proud to be a part of now.
When you take off on that motorcycle, you can't fear. You have to know that everything's going to go 100%.
That's what burns at the core of the people you're about to meet. This is the Jeep world of adventure sports.
How's it going, everyone? Pat Parnell, your guide for the Jeep world of adventure sports. Today we are coming to you from Madrid, Spain at the Plaza de Toros de las Ventas, the largest and most important bullfighting arena in this country. It is site of the Red Bull X Fighters, a freestyle motocross competition like no other. It will attract more than 23,000 energetic fans and the world's best, including the likes of Travis Pastrana. Before we check that out, our friends at Teton Gravity Research take us on a journey in search for epic snow and waves. And then we meet the Chris brothers. They've reinvented themselves in pursuit of big mountain skiing. But first, we travel through the world's largest subtropical desert, 150 miles by foot.
Being out here in the Sahara Desert, I've seen zero wildlife. It's just so dry, it's just barren.
This is more than just a race, it's an experience.
People look at you and go, wow, that's amazing, you're crazy, I'd never do it.
It's a tough race, there's not a lot of change of scenery, and it's uncomfortable.
People from all over the world coming here to subject themselves to limits that they've never even touched before. It's sort of overcoming the physicality of it with your brain, because your body's hurting no matter what, and it's just being able to focus on the short term, and as you chip away at it, eventually you arrive at the long term.
In terms of mental strength, it makes you more disciplined, it makes you aware of what you're capable of, you know that you can get through, you can pretty much get through anything once you've done this.
I'm fired up.
Yeah.
You know, I've been anticipating this for a long time, and this is an amazing setting that I've never been to before, and I just can't wait to experience it the way that they experienced it a long time ago. And that's walking across it, running across it. Expecting some pain, but it's all good in the end, right?
Stage 1 of the 2006 Sahara Race is 19.3 miles. Some of the competitors are racing, some will mostly be walking, and in it for the experience, all 150 miles of it. They're from all over the world, most have average jobs, but also a penchant for doing things like this. Andrew Watkins, for example, is here from the UK with a partner.
In real life, I work in a bank, and I sit on a trading floor, and so does Victoria. She sits on the same floor.
I look at the currency risk management for corporate treasuries.
Danny Moy is with Team History.
I'm an operations manager for collision repair. All my peers are in the race cars and NASCAR, and here I am in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
I'm a former military pilot that somehow stumbled his way into television. Now I'm a full-time television host, and so it's neat to come out here and compete in an environment that has so much history and so much diversity to it.
This area of the world is very romantic. It has so much just unknown history for me, and I wanted to explore it, and I thought, what better way to do it than on foot?
I've never done any training on sand, and we'd never done any training in the sun. So all I'd done was run. The only training we'd done was to run, to get physically fit.
She's a good athlete. She's never done an endurance race before. She's actually never done a marathon before. And she had a lot of questions about the races and what they were like, and she was very inquisitive. And I said, well, why don't you think about coming on one? And she thought it was funny, and then she started to take it seriously.
This is my first ultra marathon. I wanted to do a sport where I couldn't necessarily rely on other people for help.
It's not exactly a spot on the globe that fosters dreams of wanting to be alone. And maybe that's the reason Jacqueline had a little meltdown before the first day even ended. Volunteers and medical personnel ride along for moments just like this. Competitors must have everything they need for the entire race on them at the same time. Food, supplies, clothing. That plus looking to what you've got yourself into, it can be a little overwhelming. Two men have separated themselves. Jimmy Olsen, a Danish student whose parents never saw Superman, and Byung-an of South Korea. Other persistent racers are reaching the end of day 1, and there is already a lot of talk about day 5, called the long day. An and Olsen just simply have a different energy than anybody else.
Yeah.
Whether you're an elite racer who's trying to win, or whether you're just the everyday person who's trying to finish, everybody shares that common goal of hoping that everybody succeeds. And it's neat to see that it transcends whatever culture or background or country you're from, that everybody comes together and roots for it.
Jacqueline Estridge has a lot of help in helping her get to the end of the day. And help is exactly what she needed. 130 miles to go. Next, the Sahara Race hits the dunes. With the wind howling, every step feels like 2. 400-foot uphills, and that means a slippery slope.
The Jeep World of Adventure Sports is brought to you by the all-new 2007 Wrangler, a new species from Jeep. By Columbia Sportswear. Our products are tested tough. By Garmin. Give a Garmin GPS this holiday season. And by Energizer. Keep going. Welcome back, everyone, to the Jeep World of Adventure Sports.
It's the dawn of day 2, 19.8 miles ahead. There are already injuries piling up, part of what is quiet talk mostly, and the racers, as they look around, they definitely know that they are in the Sahara Desert. There is still a strong energy to the field, but most of them know the tough stuff that will really test them is still to come.
When you push yourself beyond your limits and you push yourself really hard in a race like this, what it gives you back is the confidence to take that success that you've had in this environment and bring it back to your everyday life.
The leaders have a new member, a 45-year-old Italian doctor of economics, Francesco Galanzino. He's joined student Jimmy Olsen and teacher Byung-an. All obviously love to learn and to lead. Victoria Taylor talks about her first ever long-distance event in the desert.
First day, drank lots and ate nothing and felt sick when I got back after the first 40 or 30 kilometers.
The concern that I had for Victoria coming to the race for the first time, not having done any endurance sports before, was the long day.
The rocks are sharp.
And her not knowing how her body would react to being pushed so hard.
For the leaders, climbing on rocks like this is a sprained ankle waiting to happen. Plus, there's always the pressure to keep up with the other two. Jacqueline Estridge is back to going it alone.
But I feel great. Ran the whole first leg. Probably gonna walk most of this one, and the last leg is, I think, rocks, so I'm gonna run that one hopefully. But,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm feeling excellent.
There's only one team entered, and Danny Moy injured his ankle right before the race, but the team history members wanted him to come along anyway, so they tow him, which allows him to keep pace.
It allows us to stay together as a group. We were doing about 3 miles an hour as individuals, and then as we started towing, we were able to kind of share the load between us, and we picked it up to about 3.75, almost 4 miles an hour. So it really helps us out.
Without major incident, everybody reaches the end of stage 2. But the miles must be adding up, because when the sun went down, everybody got a little loopy. Day 3, 23.75 more miles. And everybody knows what that means, the sand dunes of the Sahara. Some are 400 feet tall, and what goes up will slide down. Plus the winds are ripping the sand to wreak havoc on the eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Plus following the marked trail is going to take extra attention. Basically, when they have a marathon on Mars, this is what it will look like. Feet must be covered with absolute passion because sand presents another issue. If it gets into your shoes, forget it. That can turn into a debilitating matter in minutes. It's a great relief when you see the checkpoint and know that you have survived the dunes. Day 4, 24 more miles.
My wonderful tent mate Doreen, who was pulled from the race, is lending me her gaiters and her walking sticks. So I'm racing for both of us because we're both 46, so we're the oldest ones here.
Someone's got to do it for the old woman.
Yep.
The tape is to keep my tendons from rubbing against the bones on either side. Yesterday when I was coming in, it got fairly debilitating, so I couldn't stand up properly. So that, combined with a fair amount of ibuprofen, should hopefully do the trick.
I have severe blisters and they're infected, and I have a bit of a heart issue, and so the medical team said they can't afford the infection going up into my heart or something, so it was the right decision.
You'll notice the exuberance at the start of the day is waning as the fatigue begins to take hold. But the dunes are behind them now. Amazingly, the Danish, Korean, and Italian leaders have survived the dunes themselves together and still lead the race. The early miles here are flatter, yet still sandy, and ready to sap their strength. Still to come on the Jeep World of Adventure Sports, the Red Bull X-Fighters from Madrid, Spain. Plus, the conclusion of Racing the Planet's Sahara Race. It's day 5 in the Sahara Race, and for some reason, everybody's excited about the long day. 56.2 miles long. The start hits at about dawn. Staying behind is Danny Moy of Team History. His toes are a good reason why. They are nasty.
We started as a team. We ran 4 days together, and the 5th day I had to pull out for an injury. All these toenails lifted, and this little toe got infected, and it was just best for me to pull out of this stage. It's a about 60-mile stage, and so the guys are out there racing without me. Hopefully I'll be able to join them to the finish. I couldn't have gone this far without them.
We think about Victoria and Andrew from the United Kingdom and how she's never been in an event like this, and Andrew has. How's this race treated them as a partnership and medically?
I consider myself quite lucky that it's been pure endurance rather than trying to overcome like really sore feet or really bad injuries.
If anything, it's probably reinforced our relationship, and the fact that we were able to share something together which we both enjoyed so much is a good thing and bodes well for the future.
At the front of the race, it's still the lead three, and we wonder when the Dane, the Italian, or the Korean will make a move. After all, it is a race. Then there's the married couple to consider, and a day they'll never forget.
I don't even know what happened. I just burst in tears for some reason. Yeah, exactly. I was glad I was at the aid station. I think we're coming up on 26 miles. Just trying to get as much mileage in. Returns nighttime. We have to cross the water. That's not going to be any fun.
There are checkpoints every 7 or 8 miles for timing and for safety. It's at a place like that where a veteran like Kazuo Isamura can get attention, even if it seems he doesn't want any help.
Where'd you get the gators? What did you do with the camels? How was the 3-piece? You liked it? Good train?
You got any blisters we can sort for you?
Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen has made a break. This is the first race of this kind for him. Maybe it's because he just doesn't know any better, or maybe he just wants to win. Not far behind is the Italian Francesco Galanzino. And because they don't have to tow Danny Moy, Team History is finally making progress. Jung An, the South Korean teacher, is slowing down.
I do feel good, yeah. A little hungry. Can't wait to get something hot to eat. I think that'll help a lot. My intention is to walk through the night, not to sleep.
In the night, Sonia Zamora's not going anywhere.
Only 20 people have made it this far. So
proud of you.
Yeah.
Honey.
Tell them he's a bad boy for not eating.
Is that better? Is that better?
There was just a long checkpoint from the last one to this one. She got a little dehydrated, I think, and we're just gonna rest it out and see how it goes.
Oh.
Day 6 is a rest day for everyone who makes it this far, and you have to make it this far. To the outskirts of a Saharan village.
This is Mary, over. Just giving you an update. We have one runner out, and we have one in.
Where the locals look at these strange people and wonder it is what they are doing. The last to arrive, the Zamoras. Somehow, she's recovered. Day 7 and the final 7.8 miles of the race. From the roads of Cairo into the dunes just outside the city, and then winding around the pyramids before finishing at the Sphinx. Team History, towing Danny Moy and making good time. There's one recovery, and here's another, the Zamoras. Since they're so far back, they start early, a staggered start, so that everyone finishes at about the same time.
Yeah, we started out as individuals today, but of course my time was slow. I didn't want to get these guys too far off track from the time from yesterday, so we're pushing and towing, and these guys couldn't do it without them.
2 days removed from having Sonia Zamora looking like she was going to die, the Zamoras finish in 44th place. Some who heard that Victoria from the UK had never trained in an event like this thought it was insane. But she and Andrew finished in 14th and 15th place. And team history had their entire mission intact. Complete at the beginning, complete at the end. Finishing 16th. And then there was the Greta Garbo-like Jacqueline Estridge who wanted to be alone, and she was alone, in 42nd place. And there was one powerful strategy that played out, and it was Jimmy Olsen's strategy. The Danish student said, "I want to be alone and be in the front of the race." And he was a runner right to the end to claim the title at the 2006 Sahara Race. In 27 hours, 1 minute, and 57 seconds, the Italian Francesco Galanzino. The Doctor of Economics finished behind Jimmy Olsen. And then a man of experience in an event like this, Byung An, the teacher of South Korea, crossed in 30 hours, 44:44. And thus, the 2006 Sahara Race came to a close, and Jimmy Olsen of Denmark was the champion.
Coming up, a trip to Cordova, Alaska with the Chris brothers in search of some uncharted lines. Next on the Jeep World of Adventure Sports. Here at the Plaza de Toros de las Ventas in Madrid, Spain, it is here backstage where the competitors will get ready for tonight's Red Bull X Fighters. That's still to come. However, right now we meet the Chris brothers and find out why, whether it be ski racing or free skiing, they've been an inspiration to many worldwide.
First of all, just being there is pretty amazing, and seeing all those mountains and having the opportunity to ski where nobody else has skied before, that's, for me, that's the pinnacle of the sport.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? I'm gone.
This is kind of intangible, you know? It's like winning ski races is cool, but you know, unless you're winning, you're somehow disappointed that you didn't win. So up here, man, you can't really be disappointed with, you know, going out and skiing a nice line or watching your buddy ski a nice line and just being out there. Yeah, this is a mesmerizing environment, and it's pretty magical any time of day. You know, when I'm watching Reggie ski a big descent, it's like he's chosen his fate. You know, he's up there skiing with it and dealing with what's around him. There's no point in worrying in a place like this, or really anywhere for that matter. It's not going to do anything for you or for anyone else. People that love you and people that care about you, and it's not just about you risking your own life, it's about other people and, you know, trashing their, you know, happiness just because you need to go out and ski a big mountain, you know. It's sort of a selfish endeavor when you think about it, but at the same time, you know, it's kind of a necessary process of life for me. not the type of thing where, you know, you can just show up on any given day and it's magical. It only happens super right, you know, about 10 or 15 days a year. And when it's on, it's unbelievable. And it's like nothing you've ever experienced or could even compare. So it's mind-boggling to be able to get those days, and it's really special because you've waited.
If you think you have the skills to hang with big mountain skiers Reggie and Zach Christ, be sure to check out Columbia's Titanium Challenge. Submit your video and win.
Hi, I'm Reggie.
And I'm Zach. You might know us as the Chris brothers.
Some people think we have an easy job. That is until you get ready to drop a big line in Alaska. We've been working with Columbia for the last 7 or 8 years.
And now you can do the same just by winning the Titanium Challenge.
This is your chance to win a free 7-day heli trip to Alaska.
The website is Columbia.com, Titanium Challenge. Get all the info you need right there.
We're looking for somebody who thinks they got what it takes. Could it be you?
Coming up next, our friends at Teton Gravity Research take us to the mountains and beaches of Chile on the Jeep World of Adventure Sports. Welcome back to the Jeep World of Adventure Sports.
My name is Shane Dorian here in Chile, and I'm here with Jeremy Jones, Ian Walsh, and Bole.
We're here to do a crossover trip to put each of us in uncomfortable elements that the other one does. So,
2 surfers, 2 snowboarders, and taking the surfers into the mountains, and the surfers are taking us surfing. We came into Chile, headed south to a really cool farm on the coast.
First day was super big and stormy, but we ended up finding a really good wave.
Swell's a little wild and woolly. Right now it's kind of big and stormy.
I think I am a little scared, but happy to get wet. I just happened to be all right. I mean, it was gnarly, throwing very few takeoff spots that didn't require like airdrop the barrel.
Board just hit me in the mouth super hard. Broke it on my face. You know, maybe a broken jaw, maybe not. Hopefully not. Luckily, I didn't break it. And then the next day we took off to go check out the pulp mill.
Just starting it up now, and it takes them a couple more months to get it all started, but...
They'll be dumping all their toxic waste into the Pacific Ocean.
Within the next year or so, that like the water quality here could be so bad that, you know, it'd be really hard to go surfing without getting sick.
The hardest part is there's a way for them to do what they do without being nearly as harmful as they are to the environment, and that's what we're trying to get them to do.
How's it looking, boys?
It looks pretty good. Looks, it's kind of like Norway, but a left. It's good.
Looks good.
I see some broken boards.
I don't like the fact that Shane sees broken boards, but...
guys are so surf crazy. You know, it's like all they want to talk about is surfing and surfboards and look at different surf spots and different surf trips. And they're so psyched on surfing, it's crazy. It's so nice, like getting down here, and you know, it was really stormy the first couple days, and now we got really good waves today. I mean, I had no idea we were gonna get waves this good here.
That's all aboard. Everything. 2 days, nothing left. Me and Shane, like 6 boards down.
I think they brought the extra thinly glass boards so they could break them and get to the mountain. No surfboards, we can't surf.
Snow on the ground. Over.
So next time you see this board, it's gonna be like 20 feet in the air. Backside 180 to switch. Bang!
So bluebird out there right now. Paparazzi is here. It's gonna be a beautiful day.
We're gonna go snowboard, powder. And the surfers on it right away, for sure. Like, definitely impressed with the level right out of the gate.
We all set up the jump, and me and Ian, we were just so excited to just practice this thing, hit this thing over and over.
The difference between their first air to their 30th air was night and day.
See your dismay, it's just me, the grittiest one. Never mind the city I'm from. Let's do a exercise, close your mouth and eyes. Let your ears do the talking, who the best alive?
We're packing up, leaving Termas. We're gonna go heli in Nevada.
I think this is, flat out, I'll say it, best trip of my life.
I'm like in love with snowboarding now. To have a chance to go with really cool people like Jeremy and Wole, and to go heliboarding, jump out of a heli with some of the best guys in the world, and go surfing, and it's just a great experience. I'd love to do it again.
Being on that trip was a new motivation for me and a new approach for snowboarding.
Being with them makes you learn so much faster on what to do. It's like ridiculous. It'd be like those two being out with like Shane Dorian and Kelly Slater, but like right then in the middle of the wave. There's not a doubt in my mind that I'll be back here next year in August, for sure.
Coming up next, it's the Red Bull X Fighters from Madrid, Spain, on the Jeep World of Adventure Sports. From the Plaza de Toros de las Ventas, we now return to the Jeep World of Adventure Sports. Welcome back, everyone, to Madrid, Spain. As you can see, a sellout crowd here. We are ringside, a very high energy crowd at that. We're about to get underway with the finals. It is the Red Bull X Fighters.
pack 25,000 people into an old bullfighting arena with 10 of, I guess all around best freestyle riders in the world and have a little competition.
You have all the best rider in the world with Travis, Nate Adams, or everybody. That's very cool. A lot of pressure, and but it's all right.
They fly in a bunch of the best riders from around the world. We have a contest, and I try to beat Travis every time.
With Nate, he's been the reason that I've really pushed so far and, really done what I've done. It's just because of, I say Nate, and he's been the main one, but I mean, even, Matt Rabeau and Andre Villa and Bill Coe. I mean, there's so many guys now that are coming up and stepping it up, and I just don't like to lose. So flat out, you just have to keep pushing yourself further and further.
Well, X Fighters has quickly become one of the top freestyle events in the world. This year they've changed up the format a little bit. It's going to go head-to-head, which is really the first time we've seen that kind of competition format. First round will be head-to-head, and it's just one rider beats the other. The one that wins goes on to the finals. And then it comes down to who wins, who gets second, who gets third.
Mess up.
Everything's a calculated risk.
Always great for rider safety, brave for all rider safety.
That means cameras and chainsaws and people screaming.
So just settling into the booth, I'm joined by Kenan Harkin, and things reaching a fever pitch here, Kenan. And of all the events you and I have covered, you have to say this energy is unrivaled.
Crowd here in Madrid is insane. They've got their chainsaw engines, and as you can see, we're having the running of the X Fighters.
Well, a favorite amongst all the riding purists this event, still to come, head-to-head format, when the Jeep World of Adventure Sports continues with the Red Bull X Fighters.
I think once it's showtime, you block out the fear of pain.
I'm nervous, I'm excited, stiff, and relaxed. It's kind of crazy because this event is so big.
I guess in a way it is scary because it's like sooner or later, I'm gonna get hurt again doing something else. Like sooner or later in my career, I'm gonna break another bone or, whatever it may be. So, I mean, that part's kind of scary, but you can't walk around thinking like that.
The fear pretty much goes out, when I'm thinking of my run and I watch the guy before me, and of course you have a little bit of jitters, but bottom line, when you take off on that motorcycle, you can't fear. You have to know that everything's gonna go 100%, and then if it does go wrong, you have to be in a frame of mind where you won't panic. I think that's the difference between the top guys here in freestyle is when they get out there, they use the adrenaline and everything to help them be sharp and alert, and I think that's kind of cool about our sport.
So we are ready for a very unique and exciting head-to-head format here in the Plaza de Ventas de las Torres in Madrid, Spain. The American Ronnie Renner, always charismatic, and the Australian Robbie Madison. Renner starts off textbook classic whips. He is known for those.
But he almost gets upside down in those. He's also the winner of the 05 Mexico City X Fighters. Kiss of Death, totally extended. That's another thing he's known for, Pat, is just really extending his variations.
You mentioned the win last year in Mexico City, got a 5th. The incredible X-Fighters in Madrid back in '05. And Renner says he's very comfortable, even with the tight corners. He's able to pull the tricks out. Great, there's that extension you pointed out. Great R-hop, Ted Foddy, dead body.
That's right, and you know, you talk about him being comfortable with these tight quarters that we're in. That's due to his racing background. He used to be a motocross racer, and you gotta learn how to take the turns and get on the gas. Squeaking out a C-Crab switchblade.
But Renner just an all-around talented rider.
Going upside down,
right there. And Renner goes down.
Under rotates the backflip.
And I'll tell you what a great way if you're gonna come out of a flip. He got lucky.
He did get lucky. He bails off at the last second. Now, I'm sure he did take a pounding, but that bike did not come down on top of him. One more time as you watch, he notices he's coming up short, under rotates, gets himself ready. Bit of a ragdoll down the landing ramp. Hopefully Ronnie will be okay. Again, though, that bike, 250 pounds, did not go on top of him. He hit a crowd. Renner is up.
So Renner escapes the KTM, trying to come down on him. Unfortunate for Renner right there. No chance with a fall to move on. So it's going to be up to Madison to do a solid run from start to finish.
And Madison's been on a tear this year. All year long on the Dew Tour, he's been consistent. And now at the X-Fighters, you know, starting things off with a big flip. You saw Ronnie go down. Well, Madison's not afraid to flip. He even flipped his pickup truck.
On top of that, Madison, also known for long distance jumps, has jumped 246 feet on a 250cc, so talented long distance jumper. Big cliffhanger there. So that is going to finish it up for Robbie Madison. Great run from Madison.
Right, getting some style, tweaking out the backflip, a tabletop backflip, or flip whip, and then that cliffhanger completely extended, locked on with the toes.
As expected, Madison getting the nod will move out of the preliminary rounds. Do or die in this head-to-head format. So unfortunate for Renner, and it's great to see Renner walk off the course on his own volition there after that backflip gone wrong. But it is now time for our next matchup. One of the favorites here tonight, you've heard of him, Travis Pastrana and Eigo Sato out of Japan.
Oh,
bad luck with the draw, and look at Pastrana just opens up swinging.
That's right, you know, one of the only riders doing that, the Superman backflip. So difficult, knack-knack backflip. He has all of the upside-down variations, just checking them off his list.
You can hear the crowd. Pastrana has this entire bull ring in a frenzy. When you talk about racing background and guys that keep it pinned in the corner that sometimes can pack in 2 to 3 more tricks in the same allotted time, Pastrana is one of those riders.
That's right, and something else you need to know about Pastrana is that when Pastrana's not competing, he is like this. I've been privy to some of his training sessions at home. He is full throttle all the time. I don't care if he's making a sandwich. He's going to be doing with enthusiasm, lazy boy backflip.
And if you notice, Ken, just the variations from Pastrana so far has not repeated a single trick.
Very important. Judges are looking for that creativity. They're looking for how many different tricks you can squeeze in here. Not to mention the combos. Landing side saddle on that backflip pad, you're just adding difficulty. Judges know that. They're former riders, and he takes a well-deserved bow.
A great opening exchange for Pastrana in the Cathedral of Bullfighting. And notice just a no-hander lander in sand, Kenan.
That's right. And not only that, he's got some strong thighs to keep those bars from flailing all around. Lazy boy backflip, gets right back on. It's going to be my guess he may take this, Pat.
Eigo Sato would have to pull out a lot of tricks we've never seen him do before.
And he starts. Nice seat grab, double knack-knack. Good extension for Eigo. And Eigo gets the flip variations with the knack-knack.
Has the variations on the flips. Got involved with his passion for motocross back at the age of 17 from Fukushima, Japan. Not a lot of riders we see out of Japan on the freestyle side of things.
Set himself up again. These tight quarters, very difficult to get your line. You got to get on that gas and get up and over these jumps. Eigo has great extension, Parnell.
but I'll tell you what, you compare it to the variety and the extension and then the flip varieties of Pastrana.
I think what we're seeing here is we have a very creative rider, but he's just not throwing in enough of those flip variations. And then if you put him up against Travis with just the energy that Travis rides with, I'm going to say Travis is going to take it.
And the judges giving it the final nod. Pastrana will move on. As we move to our next head-to-head competition in the red, Remy Bourgeois, the Frenchman, the Swiss rider, Matt Rabaud. See Rabaud getting ready as Bourgeois takes to the course.
Good extension as he hit that Superman. Now, there's so many fresh faces, Pat. I mean, Bourgeois coming out here, hasn't been to the States yet, but he has made his presence felt in Europe.
Bourgeois, only 20 years old, has been into freestyle motocross a mere 3 years. You consider that against some of the other competitors here tonight, like Travis Pastrana, Ronnie Renner, Nate Adams. So definitely probably a future force in the sport. Bourgeois grabbed his first victory back in July at a freestyle motocross challenge in Finland. You see Pastrana looking on, sees the talent.
Yeah, double knack, getting the bike whipped out, both feet so stretched.
Interesting story on Bourgeois. Came into this competition as initially an alternate, able to make his way into the competition. And Kenan, I would not be surprised if we start to see Remy competing domestically in the States next year.
Well, he's well on his way. He's got a great foundation of tricks, big cliffhangers, very stretched, no-footed variations. Just take a few more if he's really going to make an impact in the States. Looking back, however, nothing. Indian Air gets completely removed from the bike. Well on his way, Parnell.
All right, so we move on to the next competitor. It's great head-to-head format. Now Matt Rabaud will get an answer Bourgeois' run.
Watching him earlier this year at the X Games. Oh, one of the only other riders doing a Superman backflip here tonight. Of course, the other, Travis Pastrana, we saw him earlier. But I was talking about the X Games. Hurt his wrist at the X Games, and Pat, he had to bail off a 100-foot jump and somehow slid down the landing. Very lucky in that accident.
Originally from Switzerland, taking time in between living in Corona, California. Rabaud, one of those European riders making the move. Big stripper there, extended one leg, got the bar hop. Got third place last year in Madrid, so obviously feels comfortable in this little bit tighter arena compared to that of Mexico City.
And all eyes are on Rabaud because he really is that next rider they're expecting to just blow up. He's got so many difficult tricks, a lot of flip variations, and he has been a past winner at the X Fighters. Won this year in Mexico City.
As I mentioned, Matt since 05 made the move to California. And he says he's really working on adding that much more to his repertoire. You can see a much more polished Rabaud here. Just the, like you mentioned, Ken, the variations of his tricks.
That's right, the combinations. You can see the nothing Superman seat grab. So much happening in one air.
So the Swiss rider Rabaud gets the nod as he moves out of the head-to-head format, and the Spaniard Carlos Cordoba has his hands full up against the American Nate Adams. An interesting story, Kenan. Cordoba came to this event as a ticket holder last Wednesday during training session. Now, a couple of the riders got injured that were already pre-qualified, one of them being Andrea Vilas, and Bourgeois got one of the spots, and then the officials here gave the other spot to Cordoba. So, I mean, you can imagine what's going through his mind.
Yeah, like, do they refund his ticket price? How about it? Big kiss of death. Getting so completely straight up and down on that bike. One more time, I like this. Seat grab running man, takes a hand off. So long in the air.
Just waxing the seat there. I want to know if he does a Cordoba, if we call it a Cordoba. Kind of a Spanish edge to it. So that's going to finish it out for Cordoba, and we move on to Nate Adams. And I think with this kind of matchup, Kenan, he's going to come out just like Pastrana.
That's right. You know, Nate is a seasoned professional. He knows what he needs to do. He's always at the top, and it's truly a battle between me and Travis Pastrana. And this is why so stretched with that double knack. But hey, thinking back to Cordoba, he's got the best seats in the house now.
talk about Nate Adams, not only does backflips, but Cordova backflips. I mean, just a variety, a litany of variations. So far, I would say already this run is going to knock out Cordova.
That's right. You saw Cordova do the one-handed running man. Well, there was a nothing running man from Nate Adams, upping the difficulty. Anytime you're removed completely from the bike, well, you don't have to be a genius to figure out how hard it is. There it is, Cordova backflip.
Cordova approves, a fan of the sport. And I would not be surprised if we start to see Cordova along the likes of Torres in more competitions. He's a mere 20 years old, fresh on the scene. Definitely has the home country support here, but fans of the sport getting behind Nate Adams on this first head-to-head matchup for him.
And there it is, completely stretched, double knack. So perfect. You know, there really are few riders who've got the flip variations and these straight air variations so stretched. Nate happens to be one of them.
So the defending champ here from Madrid, Nate Adams, moves on out of the head-to-head format in the preliminary rounds. Still much more riding to come from the Red Bull X Fighters here in Madrid when the Jeep World of Adventure Sports continues. The Jeep World of Adventure Sports is brought to you by Energizer. Keep going. By Garmin. Give a Garmin GPS this holiday season. By Columbia Sportswear. Our products are tested tough. And by the all-new 2007 Wrangler Unlimited, a new species from Jeep. Welcome back, everyone, to the Jeep World of Adventure Sports. An incredible night here in Madrid. Pat Parnell, I'm joined along with Kenan Harkin and 23,000 fans of freestyle motocross as the top 5 riders make their way out into the Cathedral of Bullfighting. We're set for the Red Bull X Fighters. Final round, Travis Pastrana, Nate Adams, Matt Rabaud, Danny Torres, and Robbie Madison. And this a little bit different than the preliminary rounds where it was head-to-head format. Each of the 5 riders will get one run, and we start off with none other from Estados Unidos, Travis Pastrana. And Kenan, I'm not sure if it's a good thing that Travis is going first or a bad thing for him. He's usually one of those riders that likes to gauge things.
That's right, but you know, to be honest, Pat, it might be a bad thing for everybody else because he can come out here and have one of the rides of his life and completely unnerve the competition. Because let's face it, how long has he been at this, Pat? He's got tricks that no one else is doing, and he does them with such ferocity.
Almost getting a little squirrely there. We mentioned that sand that they built up this course. Over 3,000 tons of sand they trucked in the Plaza del Toros de las Ventas.
Yes, completely stretched. Travis Pastrana attacking this course. Getting on the fun box and nose wheeling. Just little things like that, Pat. The judges noticed them.
Travis all night. He's been getting the crowd just in practice and his preliminary run. Getting the crowd behind. And there's that stretched out lazy boy backflip.
Looked as though he wasn't going to make it. And you can see some Pastrana fans, the 199, they like the lazy boy backflip.
After seeing what happened with Renner there, he was able to come out of it, but very tight quarters. These guys having to push some of the bigger tricks on tighter distances. Signature Pastrana dismount. We've seen this before, Kenan.
The bike's still going. He is a true matador. And he gets way over the back end to get that Superman backflip started. Look at how stretched he is. You can see his knees are stretched out. His legs are perfectly pin straight. He has got such extension on his variations. Not to mention, once again, judges are watching those combo moves, and that's what Travis brings you. Nothing Superman, the Superman seat grab Indian air.
So Pastrana on his final run, a 95.5. That'll be the new score to beat as we move on to Australian Robbie Madison.
And they call him Maddo for reasons like this. Superman seat grab backflip. First time he's done that in this competition here. And a rider that has had some serious injuries, Pat, had a broken neck a few years back, and he is back on the bike.
Recently, he's been trying to perfect his new trick, the Mad Copter. He's one of those riders, very humble, but always adding kind of his own personal signature to tricks. Getting extended right there. And that is going to finish it out for Robbie Madison. So Madison, 81 points with that run. He grabbed his 6th back at the Red Bull X Fighters in Mexico City. And on to Danny Torres. Got a 5th here last year in Madrid. And looking back at his run in the head-to-head format here tonight.
Right, serious combo moves with that cliffhanger to no-hander lander. So many multiple variations. The judges took notice and he has made it to the finals. He's about to begin his final run now. Great talent
starting to come out of Spain. We talk about Danny Torres. We saw Cordoba, a young, promising talent in earlier rounds, a 20-year-old. But on the Supercross scene, there's always been a steady flow of quality riders coming out of Spain. It's great to see riders on the freestyle motocross end now start to compete at a world-class level.
Setting up for something big here. Every jump's got to count. And it is a huge one. Gets off axis on that flip.
That will do it for Danny Torres. The one Spaniard to make his way into the top 5 here tonight. You can hear definite extra amount of support from the fans here. And there's a bullfighter, Kenan.
That's right. He's
and the scores coming in for Torres, a 90. As we move on to Matt Rabaud, the Swiss rider.
Right, more Europeans here all night long. Matt has been working very hard. We've been talking about just how much he has done in the last year, Pat. And you were saying, you know, what is that secret?
Well, I think it's just spending the time, and he even admits to it, spending time in California, riding conditions more ideal, a lot of areas to ride, a lot more pro riders that have compounds, and just being around the amount of talent that's in Southern California.
That's right. I mean, these guys, you know, they push each other, whether it's in competition or not. The more you ride with them, the more amped you get. And Rabaud has got such a great combination of straight airs and flip variations.
You mentioned the winner, the Red Bull X Fighters this year in Mexico City. Consider that he's up against Pastrana and Nate Adams. Pastrana already put together an incredible final run. Nate Adams, the last rider to go tonight. That is going to do it for Matt Rabaud, looking for a repeat win.
That's going to be very difficult to do tonight, but he did have some incredible variations. Knack-knack backflip. Remember, his hand just healed up, and there you see the one-hander lander. So he's getting his body back into fighting shape. One-handed Superman sea crab.
Scores coming in for Rabaud, 90.5, inches up just above Danny Torres, and our final rider, Nate Adams. The top score so far, 95.5, set by Travis Pastrana. And Adams well within striking distance of that.
Pat, I'd say, is the only rider here tonight that could possibly beat Pastrana. It all comes down to this final run.
Well, it's been great watching Pastrana and Adams in competitions, even outside of Red Bull X Fighters, just exchange runs and try to one-up each other. They definitely push each other. I'd say next to Pastrana, probably the only rider that has the same amount of backflip variations.
Right, and just, you know, confidence on that bike. You know, Nate's unapologetic, as is Pastrana. They both are here to win, and they've become each other's nemesis.
The defending champ, Nate Adams, last rider to go here at the Red Bull X Fighters in Madrid. I mentioned Matt Rabaud took the win earlier this year in Mexico City. Pastrana has that score of a 95.5.
That's what we were waiting for. Backflip variations, Cordova. Let's see if he throws out a lazy boy backflip as well. Remember, Pastrana, Superman backflip and a lazy boy backflip. He needs another big inverted variation.
This is going to be The last jump for Adams.
It's not a lazy boy, but he does whip it out a tad. Will it be enough, Pat?
It's on that off-axis flip whip variation.
And there is suicide no-hander to one-handed lander. Maybe he wanted to go for a no-handed lander. The Cordova backflip, two very difficult backflip variations. But it's going to be tough to beat Pastrana tonight. You got to be perfect.
Well, we heard from head judge Andy Bell earlier. This is no easy task to decipher all the tricks these guys are throwing in their run, especially the amount of variations. And scores coming in for Nate Adams. 92, it is not enough. Travis Pastrana, the winner of the Red Bull X Fighters here in Madrid, Spain. Started off with such an exciting format, that head-to-head. Pastrana took down Eiga Sato out of Japan and then worked his way to the top 5. It brings you to think, I mean, what can Travis Pastrana not do? You talk about his abilities in rally racing and not just freestyle motocross racing. But then tonight here just shows his dominance once again.
Nate Adams, second place here at the Red Bull X Fighters, but it's Travis Pastrana who will be taking the top honors, his second victory at a Red Bull X Fighters, the first one since 2004.
And both in Madrid, the fans to their feet. Pastrana, what a night here in the Cathedral of Bullfighting. Matt Rabode respectively taking third place. So once again, the Red Bull X Fighters surpassing everyone's expectations. 23,000 plus in attendance, and what a show the sport's best pros put on for everyone. Energizer Bunny would like to recognize Kazu Isamura of Japan for being the oldest Sahara racer and going the entire distance. Well, that's going to wrap up things here in Madrid, and fortunately for us, the party is going to continue tonight. We've had an amazing stay, of course, capping things off with an incredible freestyle motocross competition, the Red Bull X Fighters. For highlights of this show and previous episodes, be sure to go to worldofadventuresports.com. For our entire crew at NBC, I'm Pat Parnell. We look forward to seeing you next time.
I don't have to try to skimboard. It's just something I've been doing before I even remember learning to walk.
Climbing represents the closest akin to flying that I could ever imagine.
The first breath you take on the air, it's almost like being reborn.
I was alone, launching up a mountain. Can I glide out? I don't know, I can't see.
Once you make that decision to just drop in, there's no second guessing, and you've just got to put any fear or sort of apprehension on the side, and you just got to deal with the problems as they come.
When you push yourself beyond your limits, what it gives you back is the confidence to take that success that you've had in this environment and bring it back to your everyday life.
It's a great feeling when you're the fastest thing going in New York City.
How many people get the chance to fly around in a heli over peaks that have never been skied? You get a hand pick where you want to ski and you drop in. I mean, it's just an incredible feeling.
It really is about the goal and succeeding. And then once you get to the top, celebrating for a little while and then moving on to the next thing is what I love to do.